Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi. Good morning, everybody. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to give you this presentation. Our presentation today about operational technology, and this is the new presentation introduced to you about operational technology, and it will be a good chance for me to give you the new feed for you for this topic. We'll start with operational technology. It is different field that is related to IT, but is more specific for industry. We'll start with operational technology definition. What is the operational technology? It is the hardware and software to detect and cause changes to industrial processes by directly monitoring and controlling the event and physical devices in the organization. It's mainly focused to deal with physical devices in the field, how to control it, how to monitor it. That will include all aspects of the operation that done by these physical devices. And it's not dealing only with that, with data and information, as we are seeing it is important as the information technology. If you look to the differences between information technology and operational technology, you will see the IT is dealing with the data and the flow of digital information, that including the storage systems, computing technology, business applications, data analysis. However, the operational technologies is dealing with the operation of physical processes and machinery used to carry this functions, including the supervisory systems and control systems that control the equipments and physical devices at the field that will do the function of the industry. If you look to some examples of the IT and OT, you will see the differences between the two areas. For example, OT, if you look to OT, it's one of the examples: SQL, database, cloud, customer relation management for marketing, enterprise resources planning for the business, and so on. Also, if you look to OT, there are many examples for assembly lines, RTUs, SCADA system, DLCs, and communication protocol like Modbus. Maybe the first time you hear about it. If you look to the cybersecurity aspect, because it's your focus, there are many differences between IT and OT. And we will take example. If you look to the antivirus deployment in IT, mostly the IT infrastructure are using the antivirus. However, in OT environment, you cannot deploy the antivirus on all OT devices. We have field devices like PLC, RTUs, instrumentations inside the plant. It's not supporting the antivirus software. That we need to do security measures to protect it by another ways. Also, if you look to the support technology lifetime for IT is short. However, the OT is more than 20 years. It's reached 40 years. Some instrumentation in the field is lifetime is 40 years now in the Saudi Aramco. Also, the outsourcing in the IT is famous, is common. You can outsource the services. However, in the OT is limited, and really you can outsource the service for OT because it's critical and is isolated from the outside environments. We have many aspects in cybersecurity difference. If you look to the availability of the IT, it is you can get delays in the services. It's acceptable. However, in the OT is critical and impact the operation and the production and the human lives also. And we go to the OT environments. We have many OT environments that we use the OT technology. For example, the best environments manufacturing, like the food factories, car factories, you are using the OT to control their physical devices to do their functions. How we have another field is transportations for the trains and traffic lights. We are using OT system to control these facilities, and you can control the physical devices by software and hardware. Also, if you look to energy, the main sector is oil and gas.
Thank you. Sorry to interrupt. You told us the definition in English. I would like to hear it in Arabic in one sentence. OT is?
OT is هي البرامج والأجهزة تستخدم لإدارة الأجهزة في المعمل، يعني فهمت علي؟ يعني ناو احنا تقنية المعلومات تتعامل مع البيانات والإنترنت، قاعدة البيانات، خدمة المواطنين، يعني الجامعة عندك، خلينا نقول أمثلة الجامعة، الأساينمنتس، الليكتشرز، communicate savers and clients. If you look to the operation technology, if you look to operation technologies, you are يعني تدير وتراقب الأجهزة في المعمل. يعني كيف الأجهزة تقوم بعملها؟ كيف تراقبها؟ فرضا خلينا نعطي مثال، درجة الحرارة في المعمل لازم تكون متحكم فيها ومراقبة، زيادة التكييف للأجهزة لعدم تضررها، وهذه مثال منها أن فيه أجهزة أو برامج تراقب هذه الأجهزة وتاخذ يعني ما تقول أفعال حتى آلية لرفع الAC ومحافظة خاصة في بعض عندنا في معامل الزيت، تدفق الزيت في الأنابيب، مراقب الصمامات وتحكم في التدفق، نسبة التدفق كم تبغى توصل من الزيت إلى هذا المصنع، كم نسبة التوصيل، كم يوم تحتاج توصل هالمصنع زيت. هاي تتحكم كلها بالأوتي، حتى من الظهران إلى middle of desert.
I think it's focused mainly in industrial area.
هو الأوتي focus industrial area because now how to control physical device. يعني the differences between الأوتي والIT إنك تتحكم في الأجهزة physical. How to control it, monitor it. The information technology is focused on data, digitization. It's like virtual information, virtual data. But the OT is controlling the physical devices and the main difference. We can apply it in all fields. And part of the field is حتى عندنا healthcare, medical equipment. It is controlled by OT inside the hospital. حتى العناية المركزة، الأجهزة اللي فيها، control room, see all reading of the patient from the control room. If there is reading is coming up, to come to highlight one emergency. This is OT, the control of the devices, physical device and monitor it. I hope. The second is energy, oil and gas, as we said. We are controlling the pipelines in the middle of the desert. Also, they are controlling the plant inside the fence, like refinery. All refinery processes are controlled by OT systems that will control it 24/7. It's monitoring the process, the logic, and the operator in front of the machine. Most of the action are automated. Some of them are manual. You should interfere with some aspects to control the refinery process. And we have a lot of systems inside the plant to control these processes inside the plant. Also, we have utilities, water treatment. It is one of the major OT environment. All water treatments and plants are operated by OT systems. That is like the refinery product, like the gases and petrochemical plants. All of these plants are controlled by OT systems. If you look to the components of OT, this is new for you because it is touching the physical devices. The first component, programmable logic controllers. It is a specialized computing device used in industrial automation and control system. This device is the closest device to the sensors and the instrumentation inside the field. For example, if you have valve, or you have temperature sensors in the pipelines, the first device connected to sensor is programmable logic controller that will dedicated device that to interact with these sensors. We have the second system, distributed control systems. It is an industrial control system that engineers will control element across the plant and control area. This system is bigger and more advanced than PLC that will use the PLC to control the plants or the machines inside the plants that has more features and some elements that to operate and monitor the physical devices inside the factory or the plant or your environment. Also, we have SCADA system is different supervisory control and data acquisition system that has more system and hardware and more infrastructure that will facilitate the automation of industrial processes by capturing real time. It is more wide system that can control geographical or wide geographical area that can control the power substation from different places that will be connected through communication media, and you can monitor it and control it remotely. This is the difference between the DCS and the SCADA. And they can communicate with the supplement system that will provide more feature services and reporting, analysis, and decision-making purposes for the business. We have the final component is HMI. It is the interface for operator, for the user of the plant. It is a human-machine interface. That software that will create visual representation for the ICS system. If you look to ICS system, industrial control system, it is the OT system. It's another name of OT system. It's general terminology that will use, if you hear OT system, ICS system, it is the same. We come here the main difference between the IT and OT for communication protocols. This communication protocol is dedicated to exchange data between the field devices like sensors, PLC, and the SCADA system DCS. These communication protocols include the Modbus. It's a serial communication protocol used to connect the electronic devices to automation systems. Also, we have the MP3. We have this protocol is dedicated for electrical industry, or utility industry. And we have many protocols that use this used in the OT to communicate or to exchange the data between the control system and field devices. And now, in IT, we have TCP/IP protocol, and most of us know this protocol. But if you look to the OT environment, to exchange data between the PLC and the field devices, you will find another protocol. For example, you will see different traffic or data exchange between the field devices and the control system or PLC. It will be different from IT structure protocols. Now we give you a previous slides about the OT in general. To give you insight about the OT, I started to give you insight about one of the components, to give you more understand or more overview about the OT. Because you can get the previous information from internet with one click. But now we will give you more technical information about one of component to give you more understandable way, or provide understandable way about one of the component in OT. It is a SCADA. What means SCADA? SCADA is supervisory control and data acquisition. One of the main component in the SCADA is telemetry and data acquisition. What is the role of it? Collecting information, collecting information from the field devices through PLC, through RTUs, and send this information to the central site. It is containing the SCADA system, the central system. And this system, it will do analysis and control of the field devices. Also, we will use the HMI, operator machine, that will help the user operator to see this output, represent the operation of this process, getting the information, do analysis of information, and we'll get the output of this information in the HMI. What is the main role of the SCADA? It is monitoring and control the field devices in the plant. This control, it may be manual or automatic. And if you go to the other side of SCADA is deeply, is telemetry. What is telemetry? It is techniques used in receiving and transmitting the information or data over the media between the field devices and the SCADA systems. This information includes what? Pressure, flow, valve, circuit breaker, status, close, open. You should get it, you should know it about the field devices. Also, it will include the temperatures, also the voltage that will give you indication of the status of the field devices.
Real time, then.
Yes, it's real time. These data are received from an instrument and transmitted to the central site, to the SCADA system, or central machine. If you look inside, we have, what's the data acquisition? You hear supervisory and data acquisition. Data acquisition, it is data sampling. You get the sampling is meter reading from field devices. Also, we get the equipment status, open, close. What is the status of the equipment or field devices? Also, it will interfere with the data representation. How to represent data? Convert analog data reading to digital format. At the end, we need digital format at the end point or the end system, central system. Also, we will represent the data to operation readable format. What is the component of SCADA system as software? We have many components, including what? Operating system. It's not a new operating system, it's Windows, Unix, but it's in the top interface of the user. You will see the operating system on Windows, and it will host and it will be the platform for the SCADA software. If you look to the operating system, you have Windows. You should install the SCADA software, SCADA application, or this is application on the top of it. This SCADA application, what is including the database that will store the data received from the field. Also, it will include the real-time engine that will read the data, do alarm processing. Alarm processing, what's the alarm? Alert you. You get the data. What you will do with the data? You will set this data to be usable for the operator. If you, for example, if you get the temperature from the field, from device, you should specify which limit you should alert you, alarm you to take action. This is the alarm process. You should put low limit, high limit, severe limit. Also, they have some plant, they link with other system. It's called emergency shutdown system. If this limit severe, it will give automatic command, this emergency shutdown system, to shut down the whole plant. Why is important cybersecurity? Because some attacker will interfere with this process and shut down your plant. Yeah. But now it will maybe open because of IT conversion. Why do we need cybersecurity? So we also, it's control, one of the engines will control these devices remotely through the field devices. Also, we have the final interface for a user, HMI interface, for visualization. It's graphical, audio visual. We have audio, alarm. It will sound in the hall. If there is alarm, it will look to give sound, and based on the alarm severity, different sound. Also, if you go to the supplement system, this is system uses SCADA, or SCADA integrate with it to provide more feature for advanced services for the business, for reporting, for analysis, for improvement, for optimization, and it will use and ship to the IT network or IT system that will provide reporting to the business and to do more optimization for the process. Also, give you the brief or component of the SCADA system hardware. We'll start with the field instrumentation. Is the first point in the field. Next to the machine, you should have instrument that will monitor and control this device, and it will be connect this instrumentation to remote terminal unit, and you need communication with the SCADA system, supervisory control system. At the supervisory system, it will feed the HMI that will represent the data to operator. Yeah. Visualization, reporting, everything. And we'll give you details here. If you look, we'll start with the field devices. We have sensors here in the equipment, pressure, gauge, flow, meter, and connected to PLC is one of the type of PLCs, RTUs, that will read the instrumentation or read the sensors and process it, register, serial is linked, 1 to 1. And it will have another control room in different places. It is maybe far away by more than 100 kilo, 1,000 kilo. For example, we are controlling the pipelines in the middle of the desert from the Rahman by SCADA system. And you should have communication between the SCADA system and RTU to control the field devices or the field sensors inside the desert or far away. If you look to this picture, it is give you the overview about the OT. It's more complicated than what we think. It is maybe simple, but it is you should know how to deal with these devices, and it is have different nature, and any interruption or failure in this component, it will impact the operation, impact the production, economy, impact the human lives. For example, for electrical power substation, some plants they have dangerous product that will maybe leak or do some dangerous impact or harm for the human lives. We'll go to give you more about the remote stations. This is the, for example, the RTUs, remote terminal unit. Give you few about it. It is interface to field instrumentation. I explained in the picture. I will go so quickly in this. And it will interface with the SCADA system. It is the middle between field or instrumentation or sensor, and to translate or to get the data from the sensors and collect it, consolidate it, and ship it to the central management system. It is called SCADA. And we have many protocols used to do this, to communicate between SCADA and the RTUs. As we explained before, we have many protocols. For SCADA, we have famous protocols, Modbus, serial or TCP. They have special structure for this protocol. If you look to this structure, it will start from registry 1, 2, 3, 4, and you can fill this registry by input from the field devices, and it will give you the function for each protocol. It is reading or writing. If it's getting the status, it's reading. If it's getting control to close file or open file, it is writing. This is one example to give you insight about the protocol. All the protocols doing the same function but different structure. Some protocols has more features than others. If you look to serial TCP, before it was serial, since it moved 20 years ago to IP TCP, they try to develop version that will work in the IP version, but at the end the packet is containing the same structure of the protocol to be translated at the end by the SCADA system in the same way.
Is there any physical security concern with attack? Because I can see that the remote units, they are not protected.
MashaAllah.
So that's not the thing.
Yeah, حقيقة this is one of the main concerns, physical security. There is shutters, cabinet, floors, there is monitoring, physical monitoring and CCTV that put it. There are many major controls. Also, they have some security from the inside to get the data from the right device. Link it to port security, MAC address limitation. And we do some measures to avoid this compromise area. But there is risk, all right? It's not easy to protect it because it's middle of the desert. There is no man there to protect it. Also, if there is physical lock, it will not be easy to break it. But we will do the technical and the physical control that will make sure we are secure. For example, I was working in the control center. We have more than 1,000 RTUs in the middle of the desert. Eh?
Because I believe one concern that someone will have some, let's say, internet something, will find to read all of that and transfer from. So that's why we having trying to put a device that will snip the data from the
Definitely, middle of attack, it's main of the risk in the media of communication. You can tap in the communication and snip the data and insert your packet and interface. It's one of the, but most of the communication is controlled, and we have now we are doing transfer to use more secure protocols. For example, for DMP3, they have authentication process. But still, there is no encryption protocol. The OT, yeah, it's an interested area. Why we need your hand here? Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Also now we start in.
That's even more risk.
Yes, and also now the trend is moving to use wireless. Since we are using wireless, easy to attack. Most of the lands now, they are not allowed to use wireless media to communicate with criminals. The risk is there, we should deal with it. Yeah. Yeah, one of the challenges, really, what you mentioned, during the senior management, they are focusing on RTU security with all measures. Security measures applied, still we are under risk. It's not easy. Since you are in the closed room, you are under risk. What's about something away from you? If you look to the media communication, OT is using all media, serial cables, copper cables, fiber, wireless, microwave, LAN, for microwave, for offshore and inside the seas. Most of it using microwave to communicate with the central station. Also, we have different network architecture, LAN and WAN in this OT environment. If you look, how to move to this? Yes. We will talk about the central monitoring system, SCADA, is master unit. This master unit is what doing? It's collecting information from RTU and getting the data and do analysis this data, applying the alarm setting, doing the action command. That's what you need to do. In the field, you can send the action command to open door of the product And also you can do calculation. You have many flows in different pipelines and you can do calculation. How many flows in each pipeline, how much you produce today, how much you need to cut tomorrow. And also if you have many factories that you need to arrange, shut down of one factories, you should calculate how much you need to lower each plant or increase each plant to cover the cutting in the production of one area or shut down of one plant. Also we have another component is central, is representation of an HMI. How to represent data, graphical and also audio in the HMI. Also interface with other system as supplement system, as we say, to historize the system, archive the data for future use. Some of this.
أقول لك هل لازم
This is supplement system we talk about. It's system getting all information, so all jobs. Now you need to utilize this data. How to utilize it? You should do the data historians. Also, we process the historical data. We have systems called process historical data to historize all reading from fields with the time and with the levels, and you can build the trends for this data and see the behavior of this data inside the field. And you can study it and analyze it and provide valuable information for the business. Another system, platform information system, is the same. It's getting the information data. Also, getting the events. What is the operator doing inside the plant? Who did this? Open valve, closed valve. Who take action? Who acknowledge alarm? Who raise the alarm limit? It will use in forensics also. For not cybersecurity, for operation. Also, we can use another system to rise resource planning. It will feed the business with the reporting, trending about the production levels, the status of the system, the preventive maintenance time that need to do it for each component. You can send the status of component. They have high temperature every time. You can send this data to business to take action to replace this device or to do any action to protect this device. Also, if you go to alarm management system, it is study the alarm trends. Why is coming this alarm frequently? Why is not coming alarm for the device? Maybe you should adjust and tune alarms for the field devices. Also, we have different types, different vendors. We have BAS alarm management system, Honeywell advanced alarm management system. These vendors that provide alarm management system for the plants. Also, we have energy management system. It's called ETA. It is dedicated for electrical sector that will simulate electrical grids between the plants and lines and optimize the electrical use and the production in the field. For field instrumentation, we have different types of field instrumentation. These devices are communicating and through the machines and fielding device to be controlled. Also, we have sensors. If you look here, sensors that is a small device that will be tapped in the physical device to control it or to monitor it. Either close it or reading the data, temperature, flow inside the physical device. Also, we have two types of field device. We have analog and digital. It's not only digital. If you look to analog devices, we have oil flow, pressure, level. It is reading through analog devices, converted to voltage or current to be readable. Also, the standard output for this analog devices, it may be volts or ampere. It will be from 0 to 5. You can configure it. It's more detailed, technical, or configure it from 0 to 10 based on the function or purpose of the configuration of field devices. Also, the amperes, you can configure it from 4 to 20 or 0 to 20 based on the purpose of using these devices. If you look to the digital devices, it's different. It is like on and off. you can get the status of the machine or get the function of the machine. You can make it on or off or empty or full. This can be used digital devices to control it and monitor it, this type of function. Finally, we will talk about the human-machine interface. This is the final interface in front of the operator, of the user. It's including the PC, normal PC, personal computer, or Unix machine that will host the SCADA client, not the SCADA safer application in the master. There is SCADA client to communicate with the master machines to provide the output to operator in human-machine interface. This HMI will be provide graphical user interface representation for the process of the plants and see all the components inside the plant, physical devices, and the reading. And also has control functionality to open valve, close valve. Also, it will provide the alarm capabilities in this component and give you alarm and lighting and sound in each component. And you can see it in graphical interface. And we'll give you example in the next slide. Also, it will do the data stream, and trending for the data if it's used by operator to see the trend of alarm and the trend of reading for data for the specific component or equipment inside the plant. If you look here, you will see the one example of graphical interface. You will see how you read the physical device inside the plant. You see valves, reading is changing, valves, pressure is changing, and you can, if it is red, is closed the valve. If it is green, it will be open valve. It will give you also visualization and indication for the function. By this slide, I can conclude my presentation. I hope I had something for you today about the OT. Really appreciate your attendance and your listening. Thank you so much. Come between الأوتي والآيتي. يعني أنا كنت بشيل لابس كنت بعمل كمبيوتر. If you do cycle, there is overlap. If you look to internet things, using internet to communicate with physical, control your AC, control your smartphone. It will be smart cities. It will be part of the different technology coming together.
Because
thanks, Mr. Salim, for a very informative and interesting discussion this time. So we are going to invite now Mr. Al-Khalidi for his presentation. Would you please come? We have a question and answer session, so please hold your questions if you have. So we will continue. Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum and good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It's a true pleasure to stand before you today in this great institute, the esteemed institute of Al-Rahman University, to share with you an overview about cybersecurity of OT systems. What I admired about Salim's session is the interaction from the faculty, from Abdul, from Imam, and the rest. But what I didn't like, our students are not talking at all. So please, this session, I'll be asking questions, and I'll be expecting answers only from the students. When I ask a question, it has to be from our young talents. So raise your hand if you know the answer. So we have an interactive session. What we are here for is to create your passion about cybersecurity. And this is what we would love to do. Bismillah, let's start. Do we have a deal? We have interaction session. Yes or no, our students? Yes. I believe Imam Al-Rahman can do much better. Yes or no? Yes. Thank you so much. As mentioned by my colleague, OT is about critical infrastructure. We're talking about pharmaceuticals. We're talking about So imagine if a cyber attack targets these OT devices. What could happen? It's going to be a catastrophic. We're talking about maybe explosions. We're talking about creating medicines that will cause people to die. There are hundreds of things from happening. This kingdom, especially the entire world. So what we've been doing over the past years to ensure the cyber security of our environment, we've been focusing on is that we keep our planned operational technologies, the last frontier, being protected behind several frontiers. We have it isolated from the IT corporate network and from the public internet through creating the air gap. And here is the first question. What does sign represent our students? Go ahead.
So from what I know is that in the field, there is no internet connection.
Exactly.
So there is the demilitarized zone.
Wonderful.
So the flow of the data can come from the field upside, I think.
Yes.
But it cannot come from the IT level, which is level 4 or 4.5. It cannot come down to the
Which
field.
shows through this direction. MashaAllah alayk. Your name?
لينا القحطاني.
ونعم الله يعينك. I truly love the answer, and this is done by what we call it the data diode. The data diode allow traffic to only go from the plant, as Lena mentioned, all the way to the IT corporate network and the internet, but it would never allow the traffic on the hardware base to come into the plant. One way direction. Thank you so much, Mr. Abdul. So the question now comes. Today we are in the digital transformation, where we want to harvest all the benefits from digitalization. Is that design the ultimate one for the future, the near future? That's the first question. If no, what shall we do? This presentation is about answering these two key questions. So let's start by answering the first question. And since digital transformation is calling for IT or OT convergence, we need first to understand what are the key differences between the IT and OT when it comes to cybersecurity. Just to recap on what my colleague Salim had mentioned. Number one, the definitions. IT is about information, technologies that processes information. OT is about technologies that processes physical. Thank you so much. So, from the definition, we can know that the protection scope in IT is protecting data and information, while in OT, it's about protecting physical devices. And here comes the second difference. The second difference is known from the CIA triad, which forms the basis of the cybersecurity. We all know that CIA does not represent the Central Intelligence Agency. It represents what? That's why I'm not all of you. Thank you so much. So in IT, because we process information, what we call about? We care about the confidentiality and the integrity of that information. While for physical devices, we care about what? Availability. Why? Because go ahead.
That's why we have redundancy, because let's say that a server was shut down,
yes.
Then the valve would not get, for example, the instructions.
And Salim will be unhappy, right? That's the thing. This is exactly why. Wonderful. Third thing is the technology life cycle. When we look into IT, it's very short period. 5 years and then you have to change the software. Your Windows, your iPhone, your what have you. When it comes to OT plants, it's extremely long. We have devices in the plants that spans for more than 20 years. So this is a major thing when it comes to cybersecurity. You need to be updated, but in the plants, unfortunately, I cannot. Last and not least is the geographical distribution. IT, most of our systems, most of our data software is located where? In a data center, co-located, centralized location. But in OT, as mentioned by Salim, we have RTU, we have oil and gas fields that are thousands of kilometers away from it. So now we understood the differences. Let's delve into OT cybersecurity, and our start would be from the threat landscape. Believe it or not, over the past 4 years, the vulnerabilities disclosure within OT environment has increased by 110%. And nation-state attacks has doubled just over the last 12 months. When it comes to type #1 attack into OT environment that is happening over the past year, it's the ransomware. 36% of these attacks are ransomware. Normally, these attacks that happened in the past are targeting what? Our operations, our financials, and our reputation. But unfortunately, there is a report from Gartner, a very well-known consulting company, that predicts by 2025 that our adversary will be starting to weaponize the OT environment to harm human life. So we can see clearly that the OT is becoming a primary cyber attack for our adversaries. And the picture becomes clearer when you look into recent attacks. Does anybody knows about what is the Colonial Pipeline Company attack that happened in 2021? Let me tell you about it. Just in 2021, attackers were able to attack the pipeline companies in the United States, which caused shutting down the entire gas services for the whole United States for 5 days. And President Biden of the United States has issued the emergency protocol because imagine 5 days you cannot have fuel for your vehicle. This is the kind of thing that happened in our environment. So since we understood the threat landscape, now we have to tell ourselves that we have to take our lenses and start to understand what are the key concerns that we have to address within OT cybersecurity to combat such threats. And the first key concern, as mentioned by my colleague Salim, is the IT-OT convergence. Today in OT environment, we are having several IT-based systems within our OT environment. So we can tell clearly that we can inherit some IT cyber threats within our OT environment. And this is mentioned clearly by the fact that we have Windows-based systems within our OT environment. We have switches and routers within our OT environment, and I believe you have heard a lot when it comes to network security about the importance of that. Number 2 is the evolving threats. Can somebody explain to me what is a supply chain attack? Dina.
It's when the relationship between customers and suppliers يعني يجي واحد ويخرب ثاني.
Thank you so much. Your good name?
رنا.
Rana. Thank you so much, Rana. This is exactly, mashallah alayk, you have even, without reading, you have known how it's about exploiting this trust relationship. When I cannot get inside your plant, because you have the data there, as Nina explained to us, how can I get into you? You use Windows, then I will go to Windows, and I attack Windows, and I look into the patches that they will send to you. I will put a malicious malware within this Windows software. You take it because you trust Windows, you trust Bill Gates, and then you install it in your systems. Voila, there is the ransomware attack. The third key concern is the challenges of the OT environment, and I believe Salim covered this very well when it comes to the complexity of our patching process, OT system support, and the shortage of the expertise. And I look to this room and I see, bismillah, there will be no shortage anymore. We can create the passion and move to have the OT cybersecurity experts coming to us. So what shall we do to combat these threats? The simplest answer is that we have to advance our OT cybersecurity capabilities. And where do we do this advancement? Under the cybersecurity 5 functions and within this framework. And I need somebody to tell me what are these 5 functions. Identification.
Authentication, authorization,
validation,
This all under detection.
non-repudiation,
Non-reputation.
non-repudiation.
It all goes under these five cybersecurity. Identification,
all protection,
response, and recovery. This is the necessary framework of cybersecurity. We have to look into these functions, and we start advancing our capabilities from three different dimensions: people, process, and technology. And under these, you will find several capabilities that when you graduate, and before even your graduation, you need to start looking into these capabilities. What can you do? Where you can be an expert on? I don't think that the time will allow me to talk about all these today. However, I'll pick three of those 28 capabilities to tell you briefly about them, and then I leave for you the floor to do your search after this lecture. Starting with the first one, which is the asset management. Our rule of thumb in cybersecurity, as we know, is that we cannot protect what we don't know. This slide depicts the complexity and density of components that we have within our OT environments, which my colleague Salim has explained every single component area. RTU, you mentioned. What was RTU standing for? شوفوا مركزين ولا لا؟
remote terminal unit,
PLC.
programmable logical
ما شاء الله
control.
عليك مركزين معاك يا سيدي. All of these systems has to be protected. This is why, under the identification, the first step for me to ensure the cyber security of OT environment is that I have to have a robust asset inventory and real-time visibility so that I know exactly every single detail about every single component under every single level, its location, its hardware, its firmware, its software, its version. Why do I need to know all of this? Why?
Identify the most critical path.
Thank you so much. Your good name?
Iman Sharif.
ونعم يا إمام. Thank you so much. And we add to you what Rana has mentioned. Imagine the supply chain attack that happened in 2020. There was a solar wind attack. Solar wind is a solution for network monitoring. They were able to embed a malicious software within the solar wind software. And solar wind shipped its software update normally. Their customer trusted. What happened? 18,000 customers got impacted. Imagine you are a branch manager and you hear about this from your intel in the first minute. What is the first thing you need to know? I need to know, do I have SolarWinds solution? If I do, is it the vulnerable version? Where is it located? How it's going to impact my safety? How it's going to impact my operation? So asset management is extremely important. And this is very green field for you, our young talents, to tell us more about where we can have solutions to ensure having this robust asset inventory. Second, we want to talk about patch management. And now we have to work. Very simple process. We have seen how vulnerability is increasing by 110% over the last 4 years. One way to combat vulnerabilities is to have allow patches. iPhone كل يوم الثاني معطينا update. These are the patches. Vulnerability introduced, discovered, the patch is available. We as users install it, be it in our plants or as a customer. Where do you think the difference would come between IT and OT? We have 3 interpreters. Who would say it's in this interpreter? Raise your hand. Nobody. Who would say it's in this interpreter? Raise your hand. We have a few. Who would say it's in this interpreter? You are. And we are all right, huh? But the last one is the most accurate. Why? Go ahead. Can I select other than Lena and Rahman? I say the third hand. Go ahead.
Because OT systems are very old, so some of the software are not used anymore.
Thank you so much. This is such a great answer.
Another thing is availability. Sometimes with IT systems, you have to have the whole system restart or you shut it down, so the availability part of the CIA triad gets affected. But with OT systems, you can't compromise the availability when you put the patch.
Wonderful. And the third thing for it is this graph that we see. In IT, I have my iPhone, come to the update, I am the user. I will go ahead and install it. Manually.
But in OT, I think there is a server that is responsible to install the patches.
Which is the operational equipment manufacturer, we call it, the OEMs. And I cannot go ahead and install a patch unless Schneider, Yokogawa, Honeywell, ABB, these companies, they tell me, you are safe to install this patch. Because if I install it without them knowing, I will lose my guarantee, which means I may lose my protection. That's why the life cycle for patch management in IT, I can do patches in 2-3 days. In OT, unfortunately, Salim, sometimes how much does it take us?
3 months, 6 months.
3 months, 6 months, believe it. Something you do in IT in 3 days, in OT environment takes 6 months. It's a big challenge. Huge literature, and this is why by now we are still not being able to be bold enough to take up the day-to-day or to allow guidance. Threat intelligence is a third pillar that I wanted to talk about. Think of this as a mathematical equation when it comes to threat intelligence. In the middle, you have the equation or the function. In the left is the input. We collect intelligence from our partners, from industrial partners, as well from the GCC countries. We have our alliances with them. We take these data and then we embed it with our intelligence platform. And there what comes is the digital forensics, which is key name within, mashallah, the degree that is being provided under Imam and Rahman. Reverse engineering, threat hunting. Why we need to do all of this? To be able to have stronger controls, intelligence sharing partners, and some faster responses. In OT, we are having challenges. We have lack of expertise when it comes to this area. Right? Technologies, processes, run علمتنا على what did you talked about mainly the CIA and the DMZ واختي لينا كذلك. Is it all about technologies?
No, automation.
Is it all about automation, Elena?
No, security of the automation.
Let me give you. Thank
Safety.
you. Who said Imam? The first one. Thank you so much. Imam, صح? I forgot. Sarah. This is exactly the thing, and let me go back to the aviation industry to be clear about this. Because we learn a lot from aviation industry, from the black box. The aviation industry, I know we have two main manufacturers, Airbus and Boeing. Huh? Both of them, they equip every single airplane with what? Auto. So almost 98% of the trouble, the autopilot is taking care. It's the automation. Yes, it's the winner. Come on. You are facing unforeseen events, thunderstorm, or during your takeoff or landing. What would happen? A human would close off the autopilot, and he or she be taken care of. Because automation cannot replace judgment, prevention, and the innovation of our human. That is why, when I crafted this presentation, as you have seen, I was not providing you answers. I was not providing you solutions. I was not just telling you what is what. I was sharing with you the challenges that we have today. To be honest, what inspired me to do this is a statement I heard from the Dean of the College of Computer Science and Information Technology during our previous visit. He said to us, ladies and gentlemen, Saudi Aramco, we'd like to tell you that we in Imam and Rahman University, all of our faculty, are striving to teach our students to to teach themselves. What a powerful statement. Thank you so much for it. I'm here to share with you challenges, because I see in front of me the brilliant mind, the young Saudi men and women who can resolve these challenges, not for the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, but for the entire globe. That's it for this presentation, the first one. I truly appreciate your time and listening. We had another presentation for my colleague Mishari, Mishari. Now I'll take الأوتي عقال ونلبس عقال الIT. This is our Saudi hat. We did not want to leave this team صراحة without talking about a topic. I know أنكم مركزين. I know. Maybe our colleagues. I'm following the Cybersecurity club, ما شاء الله, led by Zahra Haley وأخوي عمر خويتر. I see they do a lot when it comes to phishing emails. However, we believe phishing emails are very important. We have to be very curious about it. What I want to share with you today is not only for you. I want you also to share it with your beloved ones, with your community. It's about something that we have experienced in Saudi Arabia. It's going to be very quick. It's the seal your email. This is an acronym that we created in Saudi Arabia. Well, we believe that we started the phishing email campaigns for a long time ago, since 2015. And what we have learned through this long journey, that there are two main reasons for people for being victims of phishing email. Second, and applying two techniques will help you not to be a victim of that phishing. The second thing that you will talk about, I believe we all know about it, which is the indicators. But we have it under this acronym, which I believe is going to be attractive. What I want to focus on first is this. This is a question, والله اللي جاوبه يعني بعد انك دكتور عبد الله والفاكولتي he has to have a bonus for it. But I don't think anybody would get it. أنا زين. والله إني أحاول. أوكي خلاص بخير. الله يحفظك الآن. This is a quote from a book. Whoever would know the book and the writer, he will get the bonus. Attention is a scarce resource. If you focus on one thing, you will lose awareness of another. This is those who are looking in Google. This is a statement by Matthew Sayyid in his book, Black Box Thinking. Please, if you haven't read this book, do, because it's about how to be resilient and how success is also built around failure. Attention. Salim and I, Abdul, we are in positions where sometimes some of our employees get attacked into phishing. Then we have to have counseling session and tell them, what? There are some cybersecurity. What would happen? No, unfortunately. People sit in front of the email and he's texting WhatsApp, talking to a friend. He's not paying attention, and attention is a scarce resource. You said them. So the first and most fundamental step, not to be a victim of email, you have to pay the screen in front of you the full attention. Don't think of anything else. Once you are tending to that screen, then go to the second technique, which we call it the seal defensive model, where the S represents your sender. Do you know the sender? Things are good. Not, then you have to be cautious. The E represents the external attack. Even Google or Gmail now tell you this could be a spam. In our institutes like Imam Rahman and in Saudi Aramco, if it is coming from a domain outside of Saudi Aramco or Imam Rahman, they will tell you there is an external email. Be careful. This is the A. If all of these are not meeting your requirements, sender you don't know and there is an external, then you have to be very careful about looking into any attachment or not. So for phishing, foundation, and this is the most important, always give your attention to the screening part. Then apply the C model. I don't want to take too much of your time, and thank you